How is it going, YouTube? I'm Jacob Wilson. This is Antique ER, and boy, do I have something special for you today. I got a brand new haul in, and just like always, we will kind of start from the more run of the mill stuff and work our way around. But by the time we get to the end of this, I've got, again, some really special things for you guys. I was able to go to one of the biggest collectors in the world's house and buy some stuff. Had a super fun time, just learned a ton, and it was really fun. And I was able to bring some stuff home, but I will show you guys that stuff at the end. But there is lots and lots of good, cool, and useful items in between. So without further ado, here we go. I've got a box of 55 cutters. The label's gone. This is the number 6 box. So as you guys know, the 55s came with sets 1 through 4 as the standard, and then there was 5 through 8 that you could kind of special order that were, more special purpose cutters or just, additional cutters. And this is box number 6. Cutters are in decent shape. It's missing the lid. If anybody's looking for this box, I'd do $100. Got a 248 with all the irons. It's got 6 irons resting in the little individual spots there, and then 1 is installed in the tool, but it is complete, and it's got a craftsman made box. So if anybody wants that, we probably do $100 on that. A 55, pretty typical condition. I'd say about average. It does have the spot on the fence there where someone made the notch for the iron to sit in conveniently without interfering with the fence there. But other than that, no complaints. It's got a little bit of nickel loss here and there, but it's probably a user for somebody. So I usually sell my 55s for about $200, and then $135, $140 for a set of cutters. This one really only has the box of 3 cutters, the number 3 box of cutters, so I'll probably do $35 on that, or $235 for the set. And then it's got an extra set of cutters in there with a craftsman made box, but they're just really pitted, and they need some love, so I'm not even really charging for those if anyone buys this 55 setup. Just kind of your typical number 45 in the box there. It's a sweetheart. It's in pretty good shape. It's about as complete as they come. The only really complaint on this one is someone took one of the straight cutters and made kind of a molding cutter out of it, but that's not really a big deal, $5, $6, $7 cutter. Then we've got our standard bench planes here. We've got an 8C later type with the B logo on it. Number 7 T logo with the frog adjustment and the keyhole lever cap. Another number 7, looks like it is a sweetheart era, no frog adjustment. 7C later type with the big knob in the back, frog adjustment, and the keyhole or the kidney beam lever cap. And then another number 7C with the kidney beam lever cap, later type. Looks like maybe hardwood instead of painted hardwood like on this one, or let's see here, maybe rosewood there. But yeah, it's oily. Someone tried to keep it from rusting up, and they did a good job, but it's just really oily. And some of these I might clean up before listing, but yeah, nice heavy casting. Good number 7 there. We have I think this is an Ohio 6. Yeah, an Ohio 6. It's got a Winchester iron on it. Nice user. Prices won't be crazy on that, $40, $50. I have a Union X5A here that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. And if anybody has a Union tote that they want to trade or sell me, so that I can complete that bad boy, then maybe get it on Marketplace, let me know. I'm very interested in a Union tote for this X5A I've got here. We've got a 5.5C. It's got a hang hole. It's a later type, kidney beam, B logo, but very good user there if a hang hole doesn't bother you. Probably, I think, $70 on that one. V logo, 5.5. Talking probably, I don't know, $80. The Japaning's pretty good. It's mostly just covered in sawdust. A lot of these, as you'll see, they'll clean up really good. That one looks like it's got pretty excellent Japanning on it. Obviously, we've got other ones, like this number, which I think some of these 5s were sold to my wholesale guy, but we did get some 5s in. There's a 4.5 here, pretty good shape. Again, kidney bean, later logo, but really good user, really decently clean. Bottom could use some love, but we'll probably clean that one up a little bit. Posted for $80. I've got a number 40 here. I think we'll probably send this one off to Michael Jinks. Things that I just don't have the time to find all the parts for or anything. I like to help him out and send him some parts when I get these hauls in, because it helps make space in my shop, and it helps him out. I like dealing with him. He's a cool guy, and if you ever need any parts, then I strongly recommend going to Michael Jinks with Just Plain Fun, especially since, you'll know where these parts are going. If you see him and it's a parts plane, then you'll know to hit him up. But I got some 3s there. Those are also, I think, probably sold. I got a wound socket number 4, I think. I'll probably send off to Michael in the next box. We've got a couple of dirty, but looks like they may be decent users. Some adjustable mouth block planes, probably 60.5. So I need to clean them up a little bit and see if they're Stanleys. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell, but I got a really cool 12.5 with the Sweetheart tightening knob there. It's hard to tell in the camera, but it's actually a decently strong logo there. And then this one had the number 22 toothing iron on it, which was pretty cool. And then we've got a nice rosewood sole. It's in good shape, so nice example there. This one I just kind of got for fun. 46 type 1. I don't know if there's going to be much value there, but we're going to do some exploring and see what that's worth doing with. Got kind of a rougher 289. It looks like it got dropped or something at some point or nicked. It didn't crack or anything, but that might need to be filed down. But if anybody's looking for an affordable 289 project, starting with the body and the iron, there you go. No depth stop and no fence, but as you know, the fence can be just as expensive as the plane. So I don't know, anyone can reach out if they're interested in that kind of thing. I've got a whole mess of router planes here, everything from dirtier, older, 70.5 closed throat planes, so a little bit newer, a little bit better shape, a little bit more complete. Just regular 71s there. I think I have 2 with the fence that are just, they've got everything you can imagine with them. And then I've got the 68 Sweetheart rabbit spoke shave here. They're not super duper valuable, but they are a little bit harder to find. This is the first one that I've come across for sure. We've got, I think, a whole complete set of the Stanley Razor Edge spoke shaves. I'll have to research more, but I do know that the 72 here is missing the blade, which kind of stinks. I doubt anyone's got one of those lying around, but if you do, give me a shout. Maybe we can work something out. 71 here. This one doesn't have the fence, unfortunately, but it is the harder to find Stanley bronze number 71 rabbit spoke shave, I believe. 65 chamfer spoke. Not bad, we'll call it a 6 out of 10 maybe. It's got the Stanley rule iron on there, a little bit older. I haven't quite priced these yet, but I don't think they're crazy. I mean, a perfect one's about 110, so we're going to be less than that obviously with condition, but I haven't priced all of these yet. I had some other stuff to do today as well. Number 55, 64, 63X, and the 63, which the only difference between those is the 63X has a little bit narrower iron, but they both have a convex sole. This is a really cool 60 double spoke shave there. It's got the convex and the flat there. And I mean, I know it's later with the B logo and everything, but I really like this design with kind of the diamond etching there, or whatever you call that, kind of the checkering there it's got on it. It's just a nice one, and that one's not perfect, but it's decent and clean. And they kind of just are regular, 151, 51s, a couple of 66 beaters. I accidentally left out the 67 spoke shave over here. You know, these are usually like 40 bucks there. There's a 79. This is the Made in USA version with the fence on it. Those, you know, again, I don't usually sell for a ton of money, usually like in the realm of 50 bucks. Got a nice little 271 router in the box. It's the, you know, kind of the later box they had, but still cool to find it in the box. This number 100 is sold, but I do have 301 convex sole squirrel tail planes. And then there is the pretty rare, I've learned about these recently, but 100.5 bullnose block planes. And these sell for a pretty penny. But I have one now, if anyone is looking for one. I haven't looked up the price specifically on that, but that's just because I'm getting some conflicting information. But usually, probably by the end of tonight, I will have a solid answer on that one. We've got a 131 here, which this is the first one that I've gotten in the shop. These are pretty cool, just like the 130, except it has the adjustment knob on there, which you can actually, is pretty neat. You can take this off and you can pivot it around to the other side. So, yep, those are super cool. And let's see here. We've got a Type 1 130. These are 200 plus. A number 93 with the button on it. I think, you know, generally about 70, 75 bucks. This one will probably be 70 just because it's got a little bit of surface rust there on the nickeling. We've got two number 90s, general angle divider. This is my little screwdriver. That one's not for sale. We've got a 69 hand beater here with two cutters with it. The 3-2 and the 2 semicircles. I imagine they're different sizes. Got a mismatched pair of 98.99s. One is a V logo and the other is a T logo. One of these is sold, the 1/4 inch, but I do have a full set of the 144s. The half rounds are in really good shape, and the other two are a little bit rougher. Kind of some miscellaneous marking tools. I've got a really nice Rabone Chesterman, made in England, folding boxwood rule with the level on it, and this one is just pristine. It's beautiful. You know, the bubble and the glass and everything is just in really good shape, and that's just a really nice example there. This one's from the last haul, but my buddy Danny was inquiring about a 40.5, so I figured I'd go ahead and put it out here on the table so he can see it. I imagine you'll be watching, Danny. If so, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's see, we've got a kind of a project 10.5. Some minor issues there. Knob needs a little bit of work, but this is the adjustable throat. We'll probably start at 250 and see where that goes. I've got two number 72s. I've got two Bedrock 604s, a corrugated and a smooth bottom. The corrugated is in pretty decent shape, but the smooth bottom is definitely a user. So if anybody's looking for an affordable 604, then just give me a shout. I've got a 604.5 corrugated. I think, you know, probably do 250 on that one. Still got to do a little bit more research on the 5 1/4 C here. I know they go for a couple of bucks, but this one does have the kidney beans a little bit later, so we'll just kind of have to do some research on that one. But I do have one if anyone's interested. There is a number 10C. I'll probably put a new tote on it, but yeah, this one's in decent shape. I mean, it's not awful, but it could definitely use a little bit of simple green, just as well as some of these other tools. You know, like these 21s here, they're not bad. I mean, this one's probably not a user anymore, but this is the smallest transitional plane they made, so, you know, they'll probably be on someone's shelf somewhere, but they could definitely use a little bit of cleaning up. And then we've got a whole slew of 2 here's. I've got everything from like this $100 number 2 here that's got a number 3 lever cap, a Sargent iron, you know, but maybe you've got a child in your family that you want to find them a size of plane that kind of fits their hand, but you don't want to spend a fortune on a number 2. I think that actually would be a good option. And then the rest of them are about, you know, $225 planes. I mean, I know this one doesn't look it. and I'm going to clean this one up. But, you know, they've all got nice features, and they've all got something that's not so perfect about them. But in general, the twos here are about in the $225 range. And again, you know, some of these might go down, maybe these two here, depending on how they clean up. But I also might just leave it to you guys to clean up. And if you guys want to make me an offer on the dirty ones, then make me an offer. He ain't gonna bother me. But the coolest one is the 2C here, and it's got the tote decal on it, which is nice, with the orange still left on the lever cap. It's got a little bit of problems, but you know, it's dirty, but still a 2C. We'll probably be at like 325 on that. And then we've got a shooting plan that's in talks right now, but I've got one, and I'll maybe post it if, you know, depending on how talks go. But it's a user for sure. It's got some pitting and stuff on it, and it could use some love. But and you'd have to use your own, you know, make your own shooting board, or, you know, stumble upon the 52 shooting board. But if you're looking for an affordable user for a shooting plan, then this one might be available. So I've got a 56 with you know, hang hole on it, and furring plane with a hang hole on it. Probably just going to take offers on those. I've got a 602 that's in pretty decent shape. It's got the decal, it's got the split on it, but pretty nice example, sweetheart there. It doesn't have the bedrock cap, but it'll be all right. And then there's a Project 2 here that needs some love. I was going to part it out, but I think I'm just going to let someone, you know, try to repair it. I mean, it's whole, so why just take the whole thing apart? Got a little Project 2 that I got that I'll probably end up just maybe sending it off to Mike Muscat if he can fix that, and then sell that as a Project 2 or something like that. I got this other 2 that I posted, and it did kind of sell in the pre-sale, which, you know, that's just how it goes. You know, if I ever post anything before the tool hauls or anything, and you guys see something you want, you know, just hit me up, because it's always for sale. But let's see what else. I've got a Lee Nielsen white bronze that I got the other day in the mail. It didn't necessarily come with this haul, but I haven't put it in a video yet, and it's a nice clean little number 1. I thought it was interesting how they used the type 1 shape of the tote instead of, you know, more of the type 2. I figured Lee Nielsen would probably have, you know, used the type 2 tote, but you know, they've got their reasons. They make beautiful tools that work really well. But, you know, just when I started kind of looking at it, that kind of surprised me. Let's see, we've got the, I think this is the number 5 level pitch gauge. So you put it on your level and at the end of it, and then it would help, you know, adjust your pitch for, you know, sewer lines or the pitch of a roof, which it would be kind of limiting for a roof, and maybe that's why they didn't sell a whole bunch of them. But you could 100% still use this today on your level for doing sewer lines and whatnot. It would be perfect for that. Let's see, an 11.5. The top here, the handle's got a little bit of, you know, loss and could use some love as far as the lacquer and stuff. The bottom's in a little bit better shape. But overall, a pretty clean 11.5. I think they usually sell for about $350. And then, you know, just a number 44 here, no extra irons or anything like that. But I think it's a pretty complete number 44, the dovetail plane. So I don't know. I think we'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, $300 or something on that. We'll see. But yeah, I think that is about everything other than the very super fancy stuff. I mean, I still have some other things from previous hauls, you know, the Paul Hamler stuff, the number 10 Hunter's Patent, the 64 with the toothing iron, 292s, one that has the Sweetheart logo and one that has the, you know, nothing on it. It's got a little bit of damage. It's a little bit more affordable. I think I was at like 300 on this one and 200 on that one. The 12A, pretty much mint, other than the blade is kind of used up on it, which is strange, right? Because, I mean, it looks like it was never used almost, but the blade's kind of used up. But that one's super cool. I think, you know, I think this one will sell eventually. It's just going to take the right home. But, man, what a super nice example of a 98 made in USA. But that's pretty much all with some of the leftover things. But now, for the grand finale, I was able to stop again at just one of the coolest and biggest collectors in the world and get some really fancy high-end items for you guys. I've got a saw here from, probably the late 1800s if I had to guess, but just beautifully made, super rare. It's got the super ornate brass panel on there. We've got an ebony and ivory and brass rule here. I think this is about 12 inches long, and I mean, this thing is just phenomenal. It's got a little bit of cracks in the ivory there, but I mean, overall, this thing is just beautiful, and everything here, I believe, is one of a kind. I mean, I know these hammers are remakes, and maybe these things are something that you can still find today, but pretty much all this other stuff is just super old, and or just unique, beautiful, classy planes here. Like this one's my favorite one. I don't think it's quite a miter plane because it doesn't go all the way across the mouth, but it I guess probably a shoulder plane. But man, just look at that. The gunmetal, the ebony, just super beautiful tool. That'll definitely find a home soon. We've got the little router plane. We've got two more gunmetal shoulder planes, gunmetal and ivory. This one's got a very artistic profile to it, nice and clean with the metal bottom. And then a compass plane, a compass, gunmetal, and ebony plane. Super nice. You just hardly don't ever see those. And then we've got the chariot plane. With the super ornate profile. It's got the kind of mustache shaped wedge there, ebony, or that might be rosewood. I'll have to double check on that, but very, very beautiful. It's got the Sorby iron on there, and just a very nice tool. And then we've got some of these Heinz hammers here, the goat's head and ebony, super nice hammers. And then this one looks like a little jester or shrub, kind of little angel there with two different faces. Looks like one's kind of smiling and one's a little bit more stoic, but just super nice hammers. But yeah, so if any of you guys like that kind of just crazy, exotic, beautiful, more like hang on your shelf stuff, then there you go. Let me know if you guys are interested in any of that. But that is everything, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I think I kind of went a little bit over, and I need to get this on YouTube. But I appreciate y'all. I'm going to upload this video. Just hit me up. If you need anything, I'm on Facebook as Antique ER, and on Reddit, I am Wigfoot Wallace. But, yep, you guys just give me a shout. Y'all have a good one. Peace.